Hey guys, welcome back to Champions Assemble. Today I'm going to be doing a solo playthrough of Rhino, classic core set villain. I'm going to be using Tony Stark Iron Man. This is a deck that's built not just using core set cards, also got some later cards as well, but hopefully you're going to have fun watching this playthrough. You can see we've already got Tony Stark set up. This is his deck here. I can show you. We've got running mostly basic. He's in protection, but we're just using 3 energy barriers, and other than that, all basic. Trying to leverage those great basic cards like Ingenuity and Moon Girl in alter ego form, and also Meditation. So that's his deck. We're going to shuffle him up, and then we'll load in Rhino. I've got Dragon cards set to use standard set 1 and just to be playing on standard, so and also to use the recommended sets as well. So we're playing Rhino with Bomb Scare here. So we'll flip up. I'm going to draw my hand, and this is a pretty good start. The power in all of us will pay for Ingenuity straight away, and then we could use Tony's Futurist ability to try and top deck into another Mental for Moon Girl. We don't really need the Plasma Pistol, so we can chuck both of those. I think we'll keep the Arc Reactor. We've drawn into a Meditation, which is a Mental, so that's not a bad start. Okay, so we're going to kick off the game properly into round 1. I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the power in all of us to just play Ingenuity, because this is trait locked behind Genius trait, and we don't have Genius trait in Hero, so we need to play this in Alter Ego while we can. Then we're going to use Tony's Futurist action. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add one to your hand and discard the others. So we will look at the top 3 cards. Good cards, but the reality is that whatever we draw is going to be spent as a Mental for Moon Girl probably. So I think we're going to chuck Snow Guard, and we're going to chuck the Rocket Boots, and we're going to draw the armor. We keep order because we didn't look at the rest of the cards. Now I think I'm going to spend Ingenuity, Meditation, and the Mark 5 armor for Moon Girl. That's 3 mental resources used to pay for her, so we get to draw 3 more cards. And then, yes, if we're clever, we could use the Genius resource twice. So we're going to spend Energy Barrier and Genius to play Pepper Potts, and then we're going to use Pepper Potts, exhaust Pepper Potts, and generate the resources of the top card in your discard pile, which is 2, so that lets us play out the Arc Reactor. Now that's our first text. We're only going to have hand size 2 in Alter Ego, in Hero. So the question is whether we want to flip up or not. But I'm worried about him scheming. We know Moon Girl's going to attack for 2. Just don't want to not get value out of his hero action. So I think we'll flip up. We can live with the 2 hand size. We'll attack for 1. We'll use the Arc Reactor to ready, and we'll attack for another. That's the end of the round. Going into the villain phase, we've only got 2 cards, but if we flip down to Alter Ego, then we'll be able to use Futurist to get another one back in. Hopefully we can start getting that tech action going. Okay, Rhino's going to attack me for 2 plus a boost, which is 3 total. I'll take the hit. Then he's going to deal an encounter card, and we've got the Armored Rhino suit. That's not a problem, we can deal with that. Villain phase is over. We've still got that Genius on top, so I think... let me just check his Alter Ego. Yeah, he's got 3 Alter Ego, so we can afford to do a thwart, ready with the Arc Reactor, and flip back down. Moon Girl is probably going to kill herself to deal 2 damage to Rhino, but let's not do it right now. We can use Futurist without risking putting a card in the way of Genius for Pepper, because you only have to discard them. Yeah, they don't stay where they are. Okay, so we probably want to use Pepper before we use Futurist. So we can use Pepper Potts to generate 2 resources from this Genius to play Stark Tower. And in fact, part of the reason, the energy barrier got in the way, so that's a pain. But anyway, we will use this to get this energy barrier back to hand. We've got a Ingenuity which we could use with power in all of us for the energy barrier, but let's see what we draw into with Futurist first. So we've drawn into Nick, and if we were to spend the power in all of us, which is 2 with the energy barrier and Genius, then we can play him, so we're going to do that. These 2 get discarded. So we need a 1, 2, 3, 4 to play Nick. Yes, here he comes. That draws us 3 cards. We want to start getting some of our tech into play for hand size in Hero, and as much as I like Spider-Man, we don't really need the burst right now. So I think we're going to spend strength to play Powered Gauntlets. That's also going to leave strength on top of our deck unless Rhino does something to cause us to discard a card, which means next turn we'll get value from Pepper again. So I think that's the right thing to do. We can't use the Gauntlets because we're in Alter Ego form, but Nick will attack for 2. Moongo will attack for 2 as well, which kills her. And we are still left with an action to recover. Okay, end of round 2. Rhino's going to scheme against us for 1, 2, 3. Okay, don't want to see a advance here. We're confused. That's not a problem because we can shove that off with a basic activation using the arc reactor to ready. We're going to draw a card. Okay, that's going to surge because we're in Alter Ego. There's the advance. Could be game over, guys. It's not. Okay, that's the end of the round, so Nick Fury has to be removed from play. We're probably going to want to go for the Spider-Man play here to get that burst thwart. Nick has to leave play, which means what I said about Pepper being able to use strength doesn't work. However, we do have an energy, so we might be able to get that working either way. Let's use Futurist again to look at the top 3. Not a lot of tech in hand, so we'd like to get another tech. There is some tech, but it's not the best tech. There's also Mockingbird, which is an option because she would give us another cheeky thwart, and threat is a big problem right now, so I think we're going to go Mockingbird. And we're going to discard these 2. Okay, then we can use Stark Tower to get that Plasma Pistol back. We're at 4 hit points. There's nothing we want to do in Alter Ego, so we're going to flip up. We are going to spend 2 against the world and energy to play Queen Carrier, which is trait lock behind Avenger trait, but we have the Avenger trait. That puts energy on top, which means we can use Pepper Pots with that energy to play and spend this Queen Carrier to play Mockingbird, which is going to let us stun Rhino. Fantastic. Mockingbird's going to thwart one away. We're going to exhaust to remove the confuse and then use the arc reactor to ready up, and then we'll thwart 2 away as well. We're on 2 tech, which puts us with a hand size of 3. We can afford to play another one, but not if we also play Spider-Man. But I think we could probably sit with it. I think it's okay. We're going to spend Supersonic Punch and Plasma Pistol to play the Energy Barrier, which is going to give us another hand size, and that gets us to at least a vaguely normal hero hand size of 4. We'll use the Gauntlets to deal a damage, which is going to get rid of the suit. In actual fact, I didn't have to spend both of those because we could have spent an Ingenuity, so I'll say that we kept the Plasma Pistol and spent that because I think that's probably okay, just to have extra tech, because that energy barrier is going to go away at some point. Okay, we're done. We're going to ready, going into the villain phase for round 3. He's going to attack us, but he's stunned, so he doesn't attack. Now we get dealt a card. It's Hydra Mercenary who has guard. That's not a massive problem. I think we should have ways of dealing with that. We go into round 4. So Pepper Potts is only going to be 1 resource this round. That's a guaranteed. We could go for the boots and... Okay, Mockingbird's going to ping 1 here because we're going to need to put 1 on here anyway, because then it's a packet of 2, which we could get with the Gauntlets if we can go aerial. We have the boots in hand, so that might be worth doing. So let's spend Pepper Potts to play the boots. It's going to give us a hit point. And we also have aerial if we spend a mental to get it, which I think we might do. We're not getting tons of value for that, but we could still afford to play Spider-Man if we give up on the Plasma Pistol, but we're at a hand size of 5 now because of the boots, so I think that's fine. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 to play out Spider-Man. He's going to come in with the burst of thwart, so he has +2, no, actually, because we can thwart with the ready, we can thwart all 4 away, so we're going to give him the +4 attack, the +2 attacks. He's at 4 attack total. We're going to exhaust the boots and Ingenuity to spend a mental to go aerial. That means that we can use the Gauntlets to deal 2 damage. That gets rid of the guard, so Spider-Man can hit Rhino for 4. We can exhaust to remove 2, use the arc reactor to ready, and exhaust to remove 2. That's the end of round 4, and we're almost down to stage 2 of Rhino, so we're in a pretty good position. He's going to attack me. I've got the energy barrier up, but Mockingbird is sitting there with 1 hit point left. We're about to shuffle anyway, and we like the stun, so we're going to exhaust with her. 1, 2, 3, she's dead. Bomb Scare. This comes in with an extra threat per player. 3 threat shouldn't be a problem for us. Now, I am tempted by Mansion, because we've got 3 resources on the board. So I think we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to play out Avengers Mansion. We're going to use Avengers Mansion to draw a card. If I were to play the helmet, I couldn't also play the gauntlets unless I went down, which does give us options for getting hold of some cards. So I think we're going to spend the energy barrier to play the helmet. Now we don't have the option to go aerial now because we don't have mental in hand, so this is just going to be 1 threat, but that's okay. We're going to ping 1 from the main using the Mark 5 helmet. Spider-Man's going to thwart 1 from here, and then we're going to thwart to get rid of that. We can use the Arc Reactor to ready up, which lets us swing at him for 1. We're going to use the Gauntlet to swing at him for 1. Then we're going to flip down and we're going to use our Futurist ability to look at the top 3. There are only 3 exactly, so we're going to look at the top 3. We're going to grab a mental just in case we need it, I think. We have to discard the other 2. That's going to give us a shuffle and deal an encounter card, but I think we can handle it. We played that badly because we've now removed the tech upgrade from our discard pile, so that was poor play. Don't do that, guys. Don't do it. But we can still play out the gauntlets, so we're going to go 1, 2 to play the gauntlets. Okay, that's the end of our round 5. Villain face for round 5. He's going to scheme against us for 1, 2. Then we get down an encounter card. We've got 2 cards here. We don't want to see another advance. There's the horn. That's not a massive problem, and he gets a tough, which again, who cares? Okay, our turn. So we're going to draw a card. We're going to do our Futurist ability to look at the top 3 and put 1 into our hand. We're going to take... We don't really need the meditation because we've got some doubles, including the basics. So I think we'll just take another energy barrier and discard these 2. We are going to... yeah, that's okay. We wanted to get a tech into our discard pile, but we can do it another way. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to play for Nick. That lets us draw 3 cards. Now we have a double in our discard pile, so we're going to use Pepper Potts, which generates 2 resources. And then we're going to spend War Machine and this Plasma Pistol. That lets us play out Snow Guard. She's going to come in as a 3 attacker. No, when we ping him, we're going to want to get rid of breaking and taking. So she's going to come in with 1 count. Oh, sorry, yeah, with 2 counters. She's going to be the thwart. She's going to be the thwart option. Okay, we can use Stark Tower now to get the Plasma Pistol back. We are going to flip up. We are going to spend the power in all of us to play this Plasma Pistol. That comes in with 3. We are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tech, which would give us a hand size of 8, except that Iron Man is capped at 7. We're going to use the Plasma Pistol to deal a damage, which is going to ping this tough. We're going to use this Ingenuity with the Rocket Boots to go aerial. We're going to use the Gauntlets to deal 2 damage because we're aerial. Then we're going to use the Gauntlets to deal 2 damage because we're aerial. That's going to get rid of this stage of Rhino. We're into stage 2. So we go looking for breaking and taking. It's going to come into play with an extra threat. Snowguard is sitting there with 3 thwart, so she's just going to clear that straight away. Nick is going to thwart for 2. Actually, he's going to attack for 2 because we're better at thwarting. So We've gone aerial, so we're going to use Mark Helmet to remove a threat from each scheme. We're going to thwart to remove 2. We're going to use the arc reactor to ready, and then we're going to attack for 1. Spider-Man's going to kill himself by attacking for 2, because we've got Nick as a blocker anyway. We're aerial, so we're going to use this Quinn Carrier with this 2 against the world to play Supersonic Punch, which is going to deal 8 damage. And we're almost at game. Just need to survive a round, which with Nick as a blocker and our energy barrier in play, I don't think is going to be a problem. He's going to attack us for 4. 3 plus 1 plus an extra 1 is 5. Sorry, Nick was going to block. I declared that to you guys. I didn't exhaust him, but I declared it to you. Nick dies to that attack. We get down an encounter card. Explosion. This is going to surge because Bomb Scare, the scheme, is not in play. He's going to scheme for 1, 2, 3. And we go in, and I like to try and finish my games clean if I can, so bear with me. I know I only need to do 2 damage and I can do that pretty quickly, but I like to play the whole thing out and finish clean where possible. I'm going to use the Quinn Carrier and Strength to play Mockingbird, which is going to stun him. We're going to use Pepper Pots to generate 2 to play out this energy barrier. We're going to use this energy to play this energy barrier. Hand size of 13 or something ridiculous. We're going to spend this Repulsor Blast to play the Rocket Boots, which gives us a hit point. We're going to use the Mark 5 helmet to remove a threat. We're going to use Mockingbird to remove a threat. No, we're not. We're going to use her to attack for 1. We're going to use Snow Guard to remove a threat because she in fact removes 3. And then before we swing, do we have anything else we need to do? No, so we'll use Ingenuity to do the Repulsor Blast. Deal 1 damage and discard the top 5 cards, count the energy resources. 1, 2, 2, so that deals 5 damage. And he's dead! Fantastic, pretty simple game. Hopefully you can see the power that Iron Man can get up to just by getting a few upgrades out. It's only standard Rhino, obviously. At some point I might run him against someone a little bit harder like Expert Claw, but thanks for stopping by and watching the game. I hope you've had fun. Please do like, subscribe, all of the usual stuff. It really supports the channel. But until next time, see you later.